Eventually we're going to have to sit back down and talk about it again.
Really? But it's been 84 years.
It's been 3,000 years.
Oh, God, it's been so long. Can we really do this again?
The gap between the last couple of episodes have actually been longer than our break between seasons 1 and 2, so...
We said, all work, no play. Let's try and emulate that model.
Hey guys, I'm Cyber. I'm Connor.
Hi, I'm Kylen, otherwise known as Nile, or Kylen.
This is Let's Talk About It. It's been a minute since we sat down for one of these, and hoo boy, do we got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, damn, how you been?
I've been a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into it, but a big part of the reason why the last episode took a long time to edit, and the reason why it just took a while for us to sit down for another one, is because I've been dealing with a lot of physical and mental health issues. So, yeah. Trying to get that fixed is not easy.
True.
Nor is it cheap.
True.
How have you been, Kylen?
I am, I'm entering crunch time because,
Crunch.
this Saturday, I don't know when this episode will go up, but, a week from now, I take a big test that determines whether or not I graduate. And because I can't focus on something for more than 15 minutes, I haven't studied that much. So, kind of freaking out. But, we'll see how that goes.
The rest of the episode is just going to be us making strange noises.
Per usual. Most of the time, the strange noises are the dumb shit that come out of our mouths.
So do we want to just get right into it? Because we were talking about this before we hit the record button, but the last time we sat down, we had not even started our Ghost of Saltmarsh game.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We were in the whispers stage of it, just like, ooh, this is coming, look out. Mm-hmm. But now we're like 6 episodes deep.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about that. On Thursday nights, we, Kylen and I, as well as Where's My Dingus, friend of the channel, Where's My Dingus, pew, 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 and Readspot, Readspot. We've all been playing with friend of the channel Indoor Adventure, pew, 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 as he runs the Ghost of Saltmarsh module that dropped not too long ago.
Yeah.
And that's been something.
An adventure.
What's been happening? We investigated a Scooby-Doo house.
We did. We gathered the party and we investigated a ghost house, which my character, a cleric, mind you, almost died to a weasel attack.
Sweet Boise, no.
To be kind of the tank of your party, but to go down to weasels feels good, man. But yeah, we explored. Oh, well, I guess first of all, Ghost of Saltmarsh spoilers. But
yeah, we'll preface that we've basically only done episode 1 of Ghost of Saltmarsh.
Yeah, Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh.
But we went into a haunted house.
Yeah, full of a hopeless amount of spiders.
There was a hopeless amount of spiders, which, yeah, we didn't go in that room.
We didn't deal with the spiders, but we did deal with the smugglers and the bones.
Yeah, some skelly boys, and eventually cracked down on that smuggling operation and got ourselves a ship.
Yes, oh my god, yes, Oliver's Triumph.
Oliver's Triumph, named after our orc fighters, Babby.
little tiefling babu. I wanna learn more about that.
Tiefling babby.
But yeah, and then we kind of like deviated a little bit because
Yeah.
there's a whole side plot going on that we got ourselves wrapped up in.
Yeah, there's a whole side plot that happened because while we were running this another module that we'll talk about after our break in part 2 of this drop, the Acquisitions Incorporated module. The Salt Marsh got itself a little visit from Acquisitions Incorporated, which was looking to establish something there, and well, we took the bait, and now we're doing that stuff too.
We certainly did, because I cannot say no to a plot hook. But yeah, I think more than anything, I want to say that maybe not most of it, but probably about half and half has been book plot and then character, like self-generated moments of RP.
Yeah. Whenever we left off, I killed a man.
Well, not
I
intentionally.
didn't intentionally kill a man, but a man was freaking out and threw himself into the ocean and landed on pointy rocks.
Well, because you kind of maybe accidentally made him a slimy boy, if you want to go into details.
So the thing you got to know about my character mechanically is a Kalashtar bard with a little dip into the Unearthed Arcana Sea Sorcerer. Narratively, he's an aboleth.
Oh, Albus of Lethlung.
Albus of Lethlung.
Albus Lethlung.
Is in fact an aboleth who is suffering from some, memory issues because the old aboleth brain, itty bitty living space.
When your wrinkly brain becomes smoothed out.
And he's been spending a lot of his downtime with this wizard who was living in Saltmarsh, and just using his bardic inspiration, which I've been flavoring is just like galaxy braining them, just like having an easier time connecting things, logicking things out. And this guy got a little bit addicted to it, and whenever I said I gave him the news that I'd gotten hired by Acquisitions Incorporated, he was just like, no, you have to say in a very
funky for that galaxy brain.
Yeah, it was a little uncomfortable. But whenever he touched me, one of the things that Indoor thought would be cool is if the aboleth stuff would happen.
Thought it would be cool in quotation marks.
So he, whenever aboleths, if you look at the monster manual, whenever aboleths touch somebody, they get diseased and can only like breathe water for a little bit. So he was like suffocating and was trying to get himself to the water. I was trying to get him to like calm down and stuff. He wasn't having it, and he jumped in the water. There I go, murdering people again.
Which, it's just so, I don't know if funny is the right word, but like our party is like split half and half into semi-normal and just weird as fuck. And Albus is on the weird as fuck side. Mm-hmm. The other character who's weird as fuck is Ullman, who is like, spoilers, half knife, half goo. It gets weird. And we're just like, my character, Jill Fan, and Dingo's character, Hish, on the semi-normal side are like, can we trust these guys? Yeah, sure, we can trust these guys. And, like, our characters had a whole conversation about, like, you know, oh, I can understand why you would want to keep the secret. And your character's like, why would I lie?
So there's a big distinction there between keeping a secret and lying. Albus knows that people will freak out if people know that he's an aboleth. But whenever they suspect, he is not a liar.
Yeah.
So he'll come forward with that. He wants to explain everything
And
whenever it's the right time.
he did.
And oh boy, he did, and boy did it freak out people. But whenever a lot of people witness somebody jumping to their death, which, by the way, this is the first time that somebody's like done this, like rejected him, like didn't see this as like a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just like, "Oh, people don't like this.
Oh.
I'm in a bad spot. I may need to lie."
Chuckles. I'm in danger.
I'm in danger. Our last episode was one of the first times, probably one of the few times Albus is ever going to lie.
Yeah.
You might see it happen a little bit more now that he's come to the realization that, you know, people don't like people dying.
Crazy, right? How
Crazy.
that's a
Crazy.
thing.
Just like whenever Albus dies, he just gets, you know, poofed back in the elemental plane of water.
Yeah. That whole character arc has been interesting because, you know, kind of a deep cut into our personal gaming lives, whatever, is that Connor used the same voice whenever Albus was doing the Galaxy Brain Aboleth thing as he did for the Aboleths that showed up in one of our home games.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment he...
yeah.
Yeah. So the moment he did it on stream, I had a freak out because I knew right away. I was like, oh my God, this bitch.
It's me. I'm that bitch.
So I want to say it's like an episode like 3 or something, maybe, where I just had like an entire freak out.
I think it's 2. I did it pretty dang early.
Oh, okay. It might have been episode 2 where I just like have a physical reaction to Connor doing the voice, which is pretty good. Yeah, no, we have not kept very many secrets for very long. Like it's only been like 6 episodes, and a lot of stuff I feel like has come out.
Jill hasn't talked about shit.
Well, I think she's talked about it in bits and pieces. She hasn't been like gathered the group together and been like, hey guys, so here's the deal. But I don't think her and Albus have talked about it, but I think to Hish and Ullman, she was like, hey, I'm a cleric of Umberlee, but like not by my choice. But she hasn't really said a lot of specifics. And I think there's a whole other element that's still kind of secret that I've only slightly hinted at. But
see, I know where your last name came from.
I know you do, bitch.
And I want to know about that.
I know you do, bitch. Which is good because the other day, I say, meaning up to an indeterminate amount of days, Indoor and I, friend of the channel, Indoor Ventures, BPB, who's our DM, sharpened some knives to get more backstory stuff out, because whenever I came up with Jill, I had a very loose idea of things. And then we sharpened some knives, and now things are a lot more clear, so I'm excited for next session because I'm sure some more things will come out, but yeah. Yeah, so you probably you have a good idea of what the other piece of that is, but the pieces will come together at some point. But no, my character.
Know the pieces for you.
How dare you with that deep cut Tool reference? But yeah,
You
no.
know, Tool isn't on Spotify?
Tool isn't on Spotify? What the fuck?
Tool isn't on Spotify.
Where the fuck can you find Tool?
Not in this episode, because we're not sponsored by Tool.
In the hardware drawer? Can we just play, for the break screen, a snippet of a Tool song?
No. Yeah, I can. Sped up. No, slow. I can slow it down and like. I found a lot of like new audio effects that I can do.
Ooh.
It's like in the last episode, I murdered you saying, "I want to go to hell."
You did. Oh my god, Sober Connor, you do so much for us. Truly the best of us.
Truly, the last of us.
Yeah, no. I'm excited. I'm just real excited. I love that game so much. And, like, I think it's for a multitude of reasons. Like, one, like, me, you, and Dingo have already played a game together, so, like, chemistry.
Yeah.
2, Reeves is amazing. Love him. Love Ullman in general. Just rounds out the whole group. 3, I think Indoor is just one of the greatest, most positive DMs. It's just a fantastic game. I love it.
Ugh. Any other thoughts on Salt Marsh and our salt bays?
I think that's about it. We'll probably go a little bit more into some details in the second half.
Yeah. All right. Well, you've had many games over the past couple of weeks.
Oh, geez. Well,
Did y'all ever get off the island in Alas for the Awful Sea?
No, we never got off the island, and that's on hiatus until I think Summer decides to return to it, because RMC did have a baby who is so freaking cute.
Yeah.
So I think she's easing back into things. Like,
right.
Today was her first time emceeing a game in like months, since her baby was born. So she's easing back into it. Yeah. So we'll see where that project goes. And then Monster Hearts, unfortunately, was canceled, which is a real shame. But life happens.
Yeah.
And there are things more important than games. So really the main thing I'm in right now is Monster of the Week over on Katie Faze's channel, friend of the channel, DM'd by Dave, who is CCC dash a string of numbers, and that's been just a barrel of fun, mostly because I'm getting to play a character that an archetype I've never played before, and a relationship that I've never played before, so that's been fun.
Which one?
Oh, yeah, so I play Amelia, who is the spooky, which for those of you who aren't familiar with Monster of the Week, is the archetype that's basically like Eleven from Stranger Things, Matilda from Matilda.
Oh, the Scion.
Just like,
yeah.
So it's just like the person with some like weird powers that aren't quite explained and could possibly be evil. I think the spooky has great mechanics. It's a lot of fun. So I kind of modeled Amelia after Matilda and Eleven, basically. So she's like an 11-year-old girl with weird powers that come from a shadow demon. But I get to play a dynamic I've never played before, and that I have a family member in the party who is my cousin named Ellis. And he's the mundane, which means he's just a normal human being.
Oh,
wrapped up in the midst of it's so cute because everyone's like, all right, Alice, take care of Amelia, but it's always Amelia taking care of Alice.
that gets me serious like Life is Strange 2 vibes. Just like with the spooky and just the normal guy just like watching out for each other. Yeah.
I haven't played Life is Strange 2.
I played the first episode, but it's been hard to get back into it.
Not as good as the first.
Oh no.
That's a shame. The first was so good.
It's a shame, especially because like the spirit animal are two wolves.
Awu.
Awu. It's just, I don't know. There's the whole like Life is Strange 2 thing is that you're like traveling down the coast.
Yeah.
Toward like you're traveling south. So like you don't have the one setting and all these characters to like continuously grow relationships with.
Which was such a good thing about the first one.
Right. Instead, it's just you and your brother and random people that you get to meet. Some good, some bad.
Okay.
But I've only played the first episode and it was good.
Yeah, it could have picked up. Who knows? Yeah, that game's been a lot of fun. I've just played an entirely different character who is just like an emotionally stunted 11-year-old with a real fake imaginary friend who's just a shadow demon who might be evil. And in the last episode, I think her and her cousin fulfilled part of a prophecy for the apocalypse. So that's cool.
That's fun.
But no, I love it. It's filled with such great people. And Monster of the Week is to me such a fun game. So those have been my current projects. I have stuff to announce, but I want to hear about your stuff first.
Besides the Salt Marsh game, the only consistent role-playing game I'm in right now is the Four Keys Adventure. Stuff has been happening. We have finally gotten off the island.
Finally.
We have finally gotten off the island. Stopped Small Business Simulator. Which ended up in us all being exiled off the island, never being able to return.
But didn't you start up a small business there?
I did, and I handed it off to somebody else. And none of us can return to get the money ever.
Oof. Feels good, man.
Because, yeah.
Because someone's choices.
Because someone decided to overcharge his spells and blow up a lot of people.
Wait, that was the reason why? I thought it was because you went to the king and you were like, hey, I'm going to bring this bad dude back.
Well, that happened and got 3 of us kicked off the island eventually. But, like, the sequence of events was, what had happened was, our barbarian's cask of whiskey got stolen by this rogue. And whenever we went back, our paladin, as just like sort of like a moment of empowerment, was just like, you can keep that thing that you stole. But when our barbarian found out about it, she got really upset and went off alone. But she didn't go to the bar that we normally go to. She went to another bar, which had people related to. Cut to another scene. I'm running a potion shop, and somehow, which I think we could go over in a previous episode, there's this demonic cat underneath.
Yes.
That's just like meowing and everything. So we go into the sewers to like kill it, but run into some people doing a deal gone bad. These 2 tieflings just like bamf out, and all these goblinoids are just like, "Oh, you're with them. We gotta kill them." We end up wiping the floor with them, but one of them makes off with it, making sure to like I want to say clock or read all of us, but none of those are the right. They make us.
Oh, no, I think that's right. Y'all got read.
Yes, I love to read.
Excellent.
But we got made, and whenever our barbarian went to this bar all alone, she got ganked.
Oof.
Like real bad. So as revenge, whenever they took all the barbarian stuff, we all were just like, okay, well, let's go see if we can get our stuff back. They were all about to gank us again, but more of us, when our cleric, who has this homebrew class in wizard that allows him to overcharge his spells and roll the sorcerer table. He overcharged the spell and killed like 14 people.
Oof. Wait, how did he kill all of them? Because our Monday shows conflict, so I only get to catch bits and pieces. Don't tell me he like fireball.
I don't think it was fireball, but it was a big like necrotic burst or something like that. It's been a while since this. I think it was like the very next episode after we recorded last. But anyway, that caused us to immediately, like, all of us get kicked off the island. And so we've been back on the mainland doing stuff. Arjan ended up taking a level in cleric.
Yes, bitch. How did that happen?
So at one point, which I've talked about previously, Endor allowed me to just run one session just of the normal in-canon stuff. That was a dungeon crawl through Arshan's heart, or Blake's heart at the time. And one of the NPCs that got immediately ganked by our paladin was a black Abishai named Newell. Well, Newell came back and in Arjan streams, and he was just like, yeah, I just needed to pick up my classes. You're all okay. And essentially gave us the like TLDR on what was going on, what they were doing there. Noel does use they them pronouns. And they're just like, oh yeah, Tiamat. I can tell you about Tiamat. And then my patron, the ancient black dragon that I was cloned from, was just like, oh yeah, I was Tiamat's consort.
Oh.
Still am. Would very much like to return because this black dragon that she's with now, not quite as good as me, you know. I took a level in cleric, which effectively doubled my spell slots and gave me access to a really cool feature where whenever I cast a spell on somebody, like a healing word or anything, they can immediately take an attack, which is super cool. Order cleric. Awesome.
What kind of cleric are you?
Order cleric.
Where does that come from?
That came from the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the new ones, but it's a good class.
How does your cleric and paladin friend feel about this new relationship with a traditionally evil deity?
We haven't talked about it, but I have been talking to our cleric about it, who really hasn't said anything about it. And our paladin has also been suffering a curse because she cheated in a game with a sea hag and got cursed where water will deal acid damage to her. Any kind of water. It's been raining on the mainland. So Arjan was using a really great spell called Heroism, which gives temporary hit points every round to negate the acid damage. And it was doing the most. Registered trademark for our paladin.
Yeah, I saw that one episode where Tyler's character came in and you were really using it.
Oh, he came back for another episode too. And it ended with him destroying a fate portal after bringing Corey through it. So our paladin is missing right now. We're gonna pick up with that tomorrow.
Bitch.
And none of us are gonna be happy about it. But
oh, I knew that bitch was up to something.
Mm-hmm. But what's happening right now is that a whole bunch of Fae from the Fall Islands, that Corey is in line to like be the protector of, are fleeing to the material plane because the forces of winter. This is all tied up in Corey's backstory. The forces of winter are invading the other isles and corrupting them. And some of the fall Fae fled. And apparently the Fae courts didn't like that and are trying to shut it down. That's where Damien got involved.
He's with the Fae Ice.
He's with the Fae Ice, except for they're trying to hide from the winter forces of ice.
Oh God. Ice.
Ice.
Baby.
I almost died. I really like how this is shaping up because we're actually really close to where Arjan grew up. Not that it's been said to anybody in the party.
Ooh, because I thought y'all were going to Gwen's stomping grounds.
We are, but we're going through the Hollow Locks, a little bit closer to where Arjan grew up, where his Blood Hunter Sanctuary was. We're not visiting it. We're not ever going to touch that place. But apparently, like, some of the Fall Fae that came through have been corrupted by Dindar, the Night Serpent, and are causing havoc. We got to shut that down. And I would very much like to, like, get our paladin to step in and just be like, yes, we're here. We will protect you. We will make sure that these lands are yours while we deal with the winter situation. And get her a stronghold.
Stronghold, baby.
Strongholds. We need 4 keeps. We had an establishment. We need 4 keeps.
That's what it's all about, baby.
Yeah, our entire 4 keeps. That entire campaign can be summed up with 4 millennials think they can all afford houses.
Oh my God.
It's a very topical game. Especially since now apparently people are trying to build a wall around the Feywild.
Ooh, ouch, owie. My politics hurting juice.
But that's where we're at right now.
Oh my God.
Do you have any more stuff that you can talk about?
I have something I can plug real quick. A new project that got announced.
Plug it.
Yeah, so not a lot of details have been published yet because I think it's still up in the air at this point. But I can tell you that I am a cast member on Cape Lorelei, which is an actual play podcast that's a part of Off the Table, twitch.tv/offtetable, friends of the channel. Yeah, that's going to be emceed by Summer, just a summer job, which is an Urban Shadows game, which basically, if you're not familiar with Urban Shadows, because I'm barely familiar with Urban Shadows, it's like, imagine all the monster races, but they're in gang wars all the time. So it's just dark, gritty, urban monster shit. But this story will take place on like the East Coast, think like a Cape Cod type situation, and it's part of an extended universe because they already have Sanguahona established, which is like West Coast Oregon type shit. But now we're establishing like Massachusetts type shit.
Yeah.
And so Cape Lorelei has a companion podcast called East Beach, which will also be releasing, that has like 4 other cast members. So we're in our little universe together, a part of an extended universe. And I'm so excited because Connor, I already have a character concept picked out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Can you talk about it?
I'll let you know the playbook I'm playing. But I want you to guess first. Because I'll give you a hint. It's very predictable.
Are you a gnome? Are you a gnome pianist?
No, there are no gnomes, but it's something else that I really, really love lore-wise.
Are you a hobbit pianist?
No. Think something not of this plane.
Are you an elemental pianist?
Okay, you're getting closer. It's a different kind of chaotic. Connor, think of Soleil.
Are you a fairy pianist?
I'm on that Fae bullshit, Connor. Which is all I can say as of now, because we haven't had session 0 yet. But yeah, I just want to announce that real quick. It's a super sneak peek for our Latai listeners.
Ooh, this is probably not going to go out before any of that gets released.
Well, we're having session 0, but I don't know when we're doing session 1 yet. I know it'll be a podcast. You know, most of the stuff I normally do is a stream, but this is going to be different.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to record a few episodes in bulk and then publish and, you know, do as we do. So it'll be a lot more chill than streaming, which is great because that means I can show up in pajamas, like messy hair, messy face, and just be like, "Sup, guys? I'm here to party." But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that.
Now, besides that, we have a couple of home games that we've been playing in. We've been taking a little bit of a hiatus from that just because random stuff.
Yeah. We've had vacation stuff going on.
Vacations, people moving, people crashing in some of our places, people going to meet up with other friends.
Yeah, so it's at least been 2 weeks, and I think this coming Sunday is going to be 3 weeks. And then afterwards, I think we'll probably get to play again, but I know for a while we've been playing Ethan's homebrew campaign.
Yeah.
Did we get to talk about the PvP, or has it been that long since we recorded?
The PvP. What?
You know, the Skewer versus Dennehy times.
Oh, okay. I heard 3 Ps, not PvP. Okay. So, well, first off, the homebrew campaign, the Eberron Inspire campaign, there's been pretty much no progress on that because I had to come up with a city and it took a while, especially whenever I was dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, let's not talk about that. I have the basis for another session, and I'm sure that after we play that, I will be much more inspired to continue things there. But
yeah,
because
we're always coming up with bullshit.
But we've been playing in friend of the channel, EJ the Great. Pew 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 pew.
Pew pew pew.
Is he asleep? He better be asleep.
Oh, he's super asleep.
He slept as fuck.
Truly.
We've been playing in his Adoro campaign, where you and I are reprising characters that we both know and love.
Adventures of Ellie and Skewer, baby.
Ellie and Skewer, but we've also got Ginger Benji playing Don, the human barbarian, and AQ playing Dennehy, the elf
the breakfast restaurant chain, Denny's. He changes his accent marks and spelling for every time we log into Zoom. So I don't know how this bitch's name is spelled, so I'm just going to call him Denny's.
Apparently it's pronounced Dennehy. That's all I know.
Whatever. Can I get a grand slam?
He's playing an elf arcane archer. At one point it was a ranger, but since then he has rebranded to an arcane archer. And funny thing is, in his backstory, apparently his family was killed by werewolves. And that was the thing that we'd all known going into the campaign.
Yeah.
What he didn't realize is that I was going to play Skjor, the human blood hunter, Order the Lycan.
I think his exact answer was like, I thought Connor played wolves on every shit that he does, so I didn't think he was going to play wolf this time.
Which has led to a lot of, great things, because, Skjor doesn't trust himself, and he knows that Dennehy can and will kill him if he needs to. Yeah,
and Skjor and Dennehy were the only two who knew each other coming in.
Yeah.
So y'all had, a preconceived relationship.
But, Skjor was feeling a little bit antsy in a bar while Ellie was busy inventing rock music.
As she do.
So they go out to this fight ring and just decide, friendly sparring match. Right?
Friendly?
Right? And they keep fighting, and as things progress, this silver knife that Skjor gave Dennehy. I like to tell a story. The next thing I say is, what are you gonna do? Stab me?
Skjor, who was about to be stabbed.
What are you gonna do? Stab me?
Well, to be in Dennehy's defense, I think he was being having weird dream sequences from some sort of external force that we don't know what it is yet.
Oh yeah, he was not in control of his own actions.
We were trying to get him diagnosed, but it didn't pan out.
Yeah. But he ends up knocking Skjor out.
Oh yeah.
And Skjor, I was rolling really great on my wisdom saves for that.
Yeah, because you could have turned into a werewolf at any moment and just ate this dude.
Yep. Did not.
But yeah, no, luckily Dawn, Ginger Benji's character, discovered them and brought them up, and my character Ellie, in a moment of cleverness, basically interrogated Dennehy and was like, yeah, Skjor's dead, you killed him, why did you do it? And because I'm a bard and have godlike deception, it worked.
Must be nice to be a bard and have godlike stats.
Albus sulks in the corner.
By the way, Albus is level 3 right now. He has 9 hit points.
Oh my god, pray for Albus. Pray for Albus. But yeah, no, so something is beyond Dennehy's control, getting into his dreams and telling him to try and kill Skjor for whatever reason. We don't know that, but we've entered another country to try and pursue Dawn's backstory, because we found out his family was taken by giants. But I think we're getting some Dennehy and Skjor backstory along the way.
Probably more Dawn and Skjor backstory, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe a little bit of Dennehy.
Yeah, because there's some other lycanthrope character. But
yep, other people, other blood hunters who got wolfed up and couldn't really control it.
Yeah. we've only had a brief nod to my backstory because I got to finally contact someone from it because I got message.
Yeah. Message or sending? Sending?
Yes, sending. That's what I meant.
And I think that's it.
Yeah. It's pretty much it. It's been a while since we've really gotten to play in our home games.
Yeah. Instead, we've been picking up the pace. Like I think you, me, Ethan, and AQ have all been streaming pretty regularly. Well, not regularly, but like a lot.
Yeah.
Over the past couple of months.
Yeah, because there was like 2 weeks or so where Ethan couldn't stream because he was, at home visiting family. So I got to pick up the pace, and AQ got to pick up the pace, and I know you streamed. Well, no, you only took a break last week, I think.
Yeah, I had to take a break last week. I had a fraternity brother crashing at my place, visiting the city. Yeah.
So AQ and I got to rule the streets for a little while, but I think in the meantime, our general community has like exploded and has become a lot more active.
A lot more interconnected too.
Truly, yeah, which is fun to see.
It's great.
Because it's like, I don't know, like we've been doing this for months. Like you have been doing it for like many months.
Yeah.
14 months.
It's been 14 months that I've been an affiliate, so it's been even longer.
Yeah. You've been doing it for 14 months. I've been doing this for like, I think it's now been like 4 months since I've been an affiliate. And I think AQ has been about as long. And so, yeah. But I think now we're getting to the point where we're having a like active community that we all kind of share between each other, which is really nice, Yeah. It's kind of nice to see the same people and, get to chat about things, even if they are just a chaotic bunch. But yeah, I think that's pretty much been the in current events section.
Yeah. Besides that, it's just prepping for Jenkin.
Oh, which we can talk about, because I know the last episode we talked about what we wanted to sign up for, but I think maybe after the break we can talk about what we did sign up for and then some other things.
Maybe.
But yeah, I think now's a good time to take a break.
Now's a great time to take a break. So I'm going to
play some Tool.
A distorted Tool. And I think that's going to be our little graphic too, just like a tool that gets slightly more distorted, like a screwdriver.
Damn, you know what Tool spell backwards is?
Loot.
It's just loot.
It's just loot. Bye.
Break time.
Break time.
Vax.
It's perfect.
Stop being so loud.
Perfect. That's what I hit recording on. That's our open.
Cold cat open. Welcome back.
Everybody say hi to Vax in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe just for Vax.
Ring ding ding that bell. Vax will like it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's some high quality kitty scritching going on.
Oh yeah, you can't see it, but this kitty is getting scritched.
I'll give Lady some scritches, even though she is V unconscious.
No. All right. So what's the dealio? What do we wanna talk about?
So, we talked about how our Saltmarsh game has been incorporating the Acquisitions Incorporated D&D module.
Yeah.
And with that and a couple of other modules that we'll talk about, this like last month has been really great for third party or just content creators, D&D content creators, getting their stuff out there.
Yeah.
and making their own products to further the brand in a way that Wizards of the Coast can't do by themselves, which is great. Like, we've got Acquisitions Incorporated coming out, the MCDM, Matt Colville's Stronghold and Followers. Those are coming in from the Kickstarter that he did a while back, and I know he's ramping up for the second Kickstarter. The Critical Role minis have all started shipping out, and I think those are all pretty much out by now.
Yeah, Ethan got his not too long ago.
And yeah, and even D&D are still releasing stuff. Like, they just got their Essentials kit out. And I guess Acquisitions Incorporated is still like theirs, but like it's still published by Wizards of the Coast. But yeah, just a lot of stuff is coming out right now.
Yeah, it's a fruitful time in D&D,
and it's real good to like support the brands that you like and just like further your enjoyment of the game with all these things. Yeah, so let's go talk about it, because like you and I both have a little bit of experience with the Acquisitions Incorporated stuff. I know you don't have the book, but we've been using it in Saltmarsh.
Yes, and I think we come from two different sides of it, in which you have at least some, like, you've watched some Acquisitions Incorporated stuff.
So it's some behind the scenes lore. We were originally intending to record this 2 weeks ago. Like the week after the AI book dropped.
Yes.
And I had actually, like, minutes before we were going to record, and our good friend of the channel, AQ, started his stream for that day. I'd just gotten caught up with Acquisitions Incorporated, the C Team. Wonderful show. Very, very off the wall, where Dice Camera Action was following like the modules and stuff. This is very much like their own. These four knuckleheads are just doing their office comedy in the Desert Valley.
Beautiful.
And beyond. Just doing stuff like, oh my gosh, it was so funny. I love it. Eventually I'm going to be able to watch live. I could start watching live now, but you know, Wednesdays are reserved for EJ the Grey.
Oh, yeah.
But we've both started using at least the company positions in our Saltmarsh game.
Yeah, I think, well, no. There's only one person who hasn't decided on position, but yeah, I think you came in with like a background and maybe knowing what you wanted to do ahead of time. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I came in with no knowledge of Acquisitions Incorporated in the company positions, but then ended up making a character who was so good for one position that it was just destiny had written it into being.
Yeah. So you've been trying to do a whole bunch of like ship contracts and everything because
Yeah, so my character's whole deal is Jill Fahan is a cleric of Umberlee, which in Sword Coast Forgotten Realms lore, clerics of Umberlee are usually hired by ships to basically be good luck charms and prevent anything bad from happening to the ship, because Umberlee is basically like the goddess of just fucking drowning people. Essentially.
Everybody deserves a hobby.
And hers is drowning people and creating were-sharks. Little known fact, Umberlee created were-sharks.
Daddy shark.
Curse. But yeah, so she's very much like, you know, I don't want to stay in one place for too long. She's used to doing official business, and she likes things to be very clearly defined in short-term businessy relationships. So turns out she's the perfect documancer.
We got a documancer.
Which I guess is just like the most cursed position to have. I don't know. But no, it's fantastic. I think the true moment of validation came whenever I was having an RP moment with Hish, who's played by Where's My Dingus, in which, you know, my character had brought a contract to her character and like, hey, I want to work on your ship for a month. Here's a contract. Please sign it. And they were like, no, I'm not going to sign it. And my character's basically like, no, please, you know, this is good for me. I like black and white, clearly defined relationships. I don't want friendships. That's baggage. And then Hish was like, okay, fine, I'll sign it. And when Hish does, my character's like, okay, yeah, I put a clause in there where you have to tell me about your backstory, so I look forward to hearing about that soon. I just left. Some real documancy shit.
Yeah. On the other hand, my character, he's suffering from a bit of amnesia. He doesn't have all the room in his head for memories and stuff. So he wants access to Acquisitions Incorporated's source of lore. Plus, everybody in chat was just like, Connor, you have to take Loremonger.
I had a feeling you were already inclined in that direction anyway.
I was, to be honest, the Loremonger stuff, it's mostly a glorified note taker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's mainly what it is. But at higher levels, at higher tiers of play, you can start like picking up other information. It was definitely going to be either that or maybe just like a decisionist or a hordes person, because he was. Yeah. Except I'm already like the treasurer for like 2 of the other games that I'm in, so I don't think that I would have wanted to revisit that.
And kind of for this game, except Jill keeps track of her own money.
I think I spent all of its money in the last episode.
Okay.
That last episode. Anyway.
Just having flashbacks about accidentally killing someone, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. However, that's not the only thing that was in Acquisitions Incorporated, although it's definitely the main thing. And if you're picking up Acquisitions Incorporated, those company positions are great.
Yeah.
It's a great time. There are a couple of extra spells. There's a new race, the Verdant, which are really cool.
Weird ass goblins.
Weird ass goblins.
Knowledge.
But there is also an adventure in there that takes you on a good grand old tour of Faerun. It goes between Waterdeep, Phandalin, Blueskin, lots of great places.
So we're probably not going to play that one, because I think we're staying near Waterdeep.
Right. Well, we're staying in Saltmarsh, but we're not. Oh, we're probably not playing that adventure.
That's what I meant. Sorry, that's 3 dummy juice Kylen talking.
Sipping on that dummy juice. But there is a lot of really great stuff in that adventure. I won't say too much.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool adventure that I would very much love to run.
Ooh.
It's got very many great characters, and just a fun plot thing, a fun premise. You're on the great MacGuffin hunt, getting very powerful things.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I think just from the snippet that I've had of it, I think it's like a really interesting and fun way of playing D&D, because I think most of the D&D games I play in are more on the serious side, that are looking into like real rich developed relationships and like deep dramatic lore and stuff. I think on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's like the casual pickup games of D&D where it's like, the players that are always like, oh, I want to flirt with the barmaid and how big are her tits or whatever. And then I think somewhere in the middle is Acquisitions Incorporated material.
Acquisitions Incorporated steps over both. Like, he gets super serious and then just asinine. But in the
Yeah. But it's a different way of playing D&D, and I think takes the best of both worlds and mushes it together, and it makes a different experience. So, from an outsider looking in perspective, I would recommend it, running at least a short campaign in that style, or one shot or whatever. I think it's fun.
Or, at least using the company positions, because those add a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the things that just released. Another one is the MCDM Strongholds and Followers stuff.
Yeah. I can't speak too much on it. We kind of touched on it on our Summer of Amon game, which...
Yeah, I used a modified version of the Stronghold rules, of the establishment rules, for Amon, which if you go to patreon.com/Cybrwulf1201, you can, I think it's up for free right now. You can download my conversion notes for the Amon stuff, which does have like the full, like, hey, if you want to use Strongholds and Followers, this is how I did it. This is how I modified everything there.
Yeah.
I really like the Strongholds and Followers rules of that. There's a lot of other stuff in that thing. Like there's a whole bunch of like new psionic rules, and an entire like race and subspecies of dragons that use them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a kingdoms or simple warfare mechanic that's crammed in there as well.
Yeah.
Some people really like it. I'm not. A lot of it just seems a little much.
Let's talk about it.
So in the original version 1.0 of Strongholds and Followers, like the Gemstone Dragonborn race was able to get access to some of the psionic stuff, which is just flat. There's no like scaling to any of the abilities there. One of the abilities that they originally got was called Amplify, which whenever you activate, either it's a minute or for the rest of your turn, which is never, I think it actually says both, which is really weird. There's a lot of contradictions like that throughout this book that just haven't been updated yet, even in the current print version. But anyway, you deal 3d8 at level 1. 3d8 on all of your melee attacks.
Oh.
Which is a lot.
For level 1, definitely.
That's been changed. And I think at this point it's just like push, like you push things away. Which is, a little bit more balanced. The other one is Flay, which does like a couple of d6 or a d8 of psychic damage. I would look it up, and I'm lazy. But there's just some other weird things like you and another player swap character sheets as like a psionic thing. And it's just like that's a little much.
Also doesn't work as well if you're playing online, but
Yeah. And I'm like that all seems really cool. I'm not sure if it really fits the tone of like what psionics were going for. But then again, none of 5th edition really knows what psionics were going for.
true.
But he made an attempt, and yeah, you can read it and judge it for yourself. I just think it's a little much. Same thing with the gemstone dragons and everything. They're just they get access to all of these psionic things, which is just a little much.
Yeah. But the stronghold rules and stuff.
Yeah, in the current version, I really like them. There's still some weird things like this. Like I think one of the ranger or fighter or barbarians things is like they can cause people to like start bleeding, which they can either save on or it happens for the next minute. Both of them are said. And that contradiction really isn't cleared up in the current print version.
Yeah.
There, one of the weird things was like whenever it was first printed, what warlocks would get was like, they would get a number of additional Eldritch invocations or uses of Eldritch invocations, but it was phrased really weird. So now they just get like additional spell slots.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I think whenever we played through Summer of Iman, there was one session rather that we really used the stronghold rules because there were some devils attacking our bar, and I think from what I remember from the warlock ones was that you could either cast Eldritch Blast so many times, you could summon something. See, I don't really remember because I didn't use my thing.
Yeah, those were the like stronghold actions, like essentially your version of lair actions.
Yeah.
But like everybody gets a class ability score improvement or class ability improvement, and for the warlock, it's called Master Invoker. But the current version is just like you get to cast another spell. You get another spell slot that you can use.
Yeah, that's what it was whenever we were playing. I'm pretty sure.
Which I like. Sorcerer or warlocks need more spell slots.
Truly. How was it this current version though? Is it the same or was it different?
That's the version that got printed, version 1.12.
What was it before?
Before, in version 1.0, it was just like getting additional Eldritch invocations, which was just weird.
Yeah. I'd much rather go with a spell slot than an Eldritch invocation, I think, most of the time. Because, like, sure, Eldritch invocations can be nice, but most of the time they're like utility spells. Sometimes you want something else. I don't know. Because usually they're like one specific utility spell or something beyond normal means, but...
Yeah, I kind of get what it was going for, because, like, if like, say, I was in a level 2 Warlock Stronghold, we're spending way too much time on this, but like if I was in a level 2 Warlock Stronghold, I could like say, hey, I really need you closer to me. I'm going to use my thing and grab the Eldritch Invocation, like Grasp of Hadar, to like pull you closer with my Eldritch Blast.
Oh yeah, Eldritch Yoink.
Eldritch Yoink. But also, I want to use the mini forms invocation, so I'm going to throw Polymorph on top of that. Yeah, I get, like, I sort of get the utility and just like being able to pick from anything and just use it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like this Psionic thing. It just seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Where instead you've got like the Ranger, who I think just like deals extra damage,
Mm-hmm.
or like the Paladin that makes things vulnerable to radiant damage
Mm-hmm.
whenever they do a smite. I'm okay with version 1.12, which is something that I could not have said with version 1.0 whenever the PDF first dropped.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with how it has currently evolved.
That's good.
I'm happier with how it's evolved.
Yes. It's not 100% perfect publication from what I'm hearing.
But you know, it's Colville's first time publishing that. There's also an adventure in there that James Haig helped with.
Have you had a chance to read through it? Like, do you have any thoughts on it?
I have no thoughts on it. I have not read it.
Okay.
But I think it's just all about just like there are these orcs, kill them. You get it. That's it.
Original, yes.
That's just like my first impression. I haven't like actually read through it because I was a little bored.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a good way to introduce a keep if that's something that you want to do with your D&D group.
Yeah.
And I was certainly thinking of running it as part of one of my home games if I wanted to do strongholds, but it just wasn't something that came up.
Yeah, I think it's largely dependent on the group too.
Yeah. But if you have parties that want to like get houses and everything, definitely recommend using the stronghold rules because there's a lot there to play around with. If you are a part of my Discord, I've also been playing with rules for blood hunters and artificers to get stronghold benefits.
Oh, woo!
Which you can, y'all know how to get in the Discord. Up to my channel, or join my Patreon, which you won't be charged for yet. So,
woo, Treon.
Treon. Another thing that has been that has come from a creator that you and I both very much enjoy are the Critical Role minis from Steamforge Games.
Yeah.
And I've got to be honest, whenever I noticed that they were going to be shipped, I was a little worried about it.
Yeah.
Because since the Kickstarter for these minis has gone up, they've been doing a lot of limited edition, like, hey, we're going to go to cons and we're going to start selling these. If you want them, you have to order them like now.
Yeah.
And then eventually you'll get them in a couple weeks. That's happened with like Twiggy, Lyra, not Lyra.
There was the Gen Con Vax.
There was the Gen Con Vax. That was the first one.
Yeah.
That was the very first one. The last one that, like Orly was one. The very last one that got done was Victor.
Yeah.
I've got a Victor mini. But the thing is, they all come like disassembled.
Yeah.
Like you have to put them together. And I've always been so terrible with those kinds of minis because I'm like, oh, I gotta get them perfect, and then I gotta start painting them, or I had to like paint them all these little bitty parts, and then stick them all together. And I'm not great.
I have a dexterity of 4.
I have a dexterity of 2. I am not great at putting the little minis together. But the Critical Role Kickstarter minis, they're all like fully assembled. They're full like sculptures, and it's great.
Yeah.
They're the same quality as the Dungeons and Doggies minis.
I'm looking at them right now. Ethan has them on his desk.
Which is super cool. And I'm super happy with the quality of them. I have not had a at the table game in a long time.
Mood.
Which is something that I wish I would have known before. Well, I probably would have kickstarted these anyway, but which is something I wish I would have known before I started kickstarting these minis, the Dungeons and Doggies minis, and especially the Matt Colville Dragon, Gemstone Dragon minis.
Yeah.
But, I like having them.
Mm-hmm.
They're good.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I don't get into minis, because one, I can't paint, and two, because I'm like, every game I play nowadays is online.
Yeah.
It's not as much use for minis when you're playing online, But for a collector's item, they're nice to have.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that the Critical Role minis are quality. That makes me feel good.
Yeah. Now, Critical Role also has the Tal'Dorei campaign guide out, which isn't a new release by all means. I think it's like 2 years old at this point.
Happy birthday, bitch.
But, the content from that is still very much a work in progress, as we've seen with Matt's revisions to the Cobalt Soul Monk.
Oh yeah, I think especially because Marisha is like essentially playtesting it. It's that bitch is always getting revised, and which I think Blood Hunter was getting revised a lot too. But
Blood Hunter was getting revised a lot, like at the very beginning, like right before all this stuff got launched. So was actually the rest of it. Like Gunslinger and Blood Hunter were being playtested or being updated like right before they got added to D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
At the beginning of session, campaign 2, which is good. I'm glad they're on D&D Beyond now. People can playtest them for free, or just play them for free. Not playtested. They're out. They're published. But yeah, it's just interesting to see that, like, even though something is out in print, how like it can still very much be a work in progress. And we've seen that with like the errata from the Player's Handbook too.
Yeah.
Like most recently the Ranger, the Beastmaster Ranger.
Like, yes.
Their animal companion like takes a dodge action every turn now. That's like a cool ease of life improvement that just randomly got added.
Definitely.
And they get the animal companion gets like magic damage now, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Did you want to talk about the target thing?
Oh yeah. So D&D also dropped a D&D Essentials thing. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, Connor had some very spicy takes on it whenever I first heard.
So if you have the D&D starter set, or if you buy the Lost Mines of Phandelver adventure on D&D Beyond,
which I think is a pretty good adventure. That was my introduction into 5e.
Yeah, it's great.
I enjoyed it.
If you have that and you want to keep that adventure going, then by all means wait until September and buy the Dragon of Icefire Peak on D&D Beyond or wherever.
Which is the little starter set
it's
adventure quote thing come in the target thing.
What it does is you get 9 more quests that you can do around Phandalin. And I think the adventure just like implements them as just like, hey, you find jobs on a job board, go do them.
Which is kind of disappointing because in my opinion, the way it was advertised made it look like a whole like little mini module in the way that like Phandelver was. Or at least in my opinion, I don't know if I was reading into it wrong, but
well, like it is. It's just like sort of a sandbox. You just like, I want to go do this quest, or I want to go do this quest. But it's weird how they're all like sort of disjunct.
Yeah, but like Phandelver has a story to go with it, right? Which is what you want in like a starter adventure, not just like random quests. At least I think anyway. I feel like you need some sort of narrative.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could appeal to a different type of player, I guess, who doesn't want to commit to something.
Yeah. And if you just want to run one of those adventures, hey, you have a great afternoon.
Yeah.
But
buying the whole kit in and of itself is like your first foray into 5e.
I would say you might want to stick with the starter set.
Yeah.
Now, there are no rules for creating characters in this, or in the starter set. There are in the Essentials box.
Mm-hmm.
And there are blank character sheets in the Essentials box.
Yeah.
Which is great if you have players who like want to do something new, do something original, and not have the like tie-ins to Fandelver that came with the starter set box.
Yeah.
The one original thing that was all of it was original, but like the one like brand new thing that was added to the D&D Essentials was like they were advertising this as like, hey, we're going to add like special rules for if you're just doing one-on-one adventures, which like seems like it would be a lot, like maybe adding things to combat to make it go faster.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially just like, hey, if you have only one player, give them a sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
Here are rules for making a sidekick.
Yeah.
But only up to level 6. We're not letting you go past level 6.
Interesting. So what do they expect past level 6?
I don't know. My advice, use the Matt Colville followers.
Mix and match, baby.
Mix and match. But yeah, the D&D did or Wizards of the Coast did an Unearthed Arcana a while back that went all the way to level 20. I can definitely see where that was going and the influence of that on these special sidekick rules. I'd be more interested to see how WotC expands further past level 6. And
Yeah.
I'd be more interested in seeing them pass in or using them then. But until then, hey, Matt Colville's got some pretty good stuff. His stuff only goes to level 7, but I guess his whole thing is just like, hey, followers have to be of a lower level than your player, and this is about as cool as they get.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I guess I could praise Wizards of the Coast for doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, though.
Yeah, it seems like, minus Ac Inc., which seems to have high praise from most everyone, seems like the Target Adventure and Rules D&D Essentials kit and Matt Colville's Strongholds and Followers are miss the mark in some places, but are okay in others, so you can pick and choose elements from it. But Ac Inc., for the most part, seems to be like pretty good should you choose to incorporate that stuff in your adventures.
There's actually one other thing that dropped not too recently. It dropped fairly recently. Are you familiar with the Uncaged Anthology?
Yes, mostly in name, because a lot of people I know from Twitter either have some part in it or like promoting it. And I know whenever we were doing your homebrew campaign, you ran an adventure from it.
Yeah.
And I know the second installment is either coming out soon or is already out.
It just came out. It just
came.
Yeah. It's out there. I think it's about like $15 on the DM's Guild.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a whole bunch of new adventures featuring monsters and their backstories.
Which I think is absolutely crazy because it feels like not too long ago at all that they dropped the first installment and it was meant to just like such high praise from what I saw. So the fact that they were already able to like turn around and churn out a second installment, to me is just like mind-boggling. I don't know. I mean, I know like a lot of people contributed to it, but the fact the turnaround was so quick.
Yeah, it's definitely an anthology. Like all these independent creators came together and published their adventures in like separate like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 stuff. But it's really great because like some of the adventures have this really cool thing where like they'll tell the DM what the monster's like intentions are. Like if you drop to this many hit points, this is what the creature's thinking and this is what it's going to do.
That's nice.
This is how the creature is going to attack, or this is what a typical turn for the creature is going to be, which I, as a DM, love.
Right. Because I think, you know, when you get a monster normally, and, you know, this is coming from my few experiences with DMing, like, you get all these moves, right, and, like, all these features, but you don't really, there's no logical sequence of events with it, right? Like, you as the DM kind of can determine what happens, but, like, who's to say they wouldn't use their strongest attack now, or they would, like, run off and recuperate, or, you know, like, which I think could be different for every creature, but the fact that, like, this supplement, like, kind of does some of that guesswork for you, that seems pretty nice.
Yeah, and like I said, it seems to me like the big premise is every monster has its own story, or every villain has its own story. That you know, it's good to know. It's not just like, oh, it's a scary monster.
Yeah. They're not always just like the straight black and white bad guy, at least from the snippet that we got to saw from the first Uncaged anthology with a dryad that was burning up the woods.
Yeah, to help the plants. Now, I do have one. I haven't read through a lot of it, but I do have one sort of pressing criticism about the second volume.
Let's talk about it.
So a lot of these things like expand on things that are in the monster manual, like here's this banshee, this is her story, this is the adventure that's going to lead up to this encounter with the banshee, which is cool. And then some of them draw from like the creator's own like experiences and culture and everything. Like I think in Uncaged Anthology 1 there was a great adventure involving La Llorona, the Latin American mythological figure.
Yeah.
The first like 3 adventures in this book all involve a creature called the Rusaka, which is like the spirit of a drowned woman. But like they're all different stat blocks for the Rusaka, which leads me to believe like these creators like came up with this individually and didn't really communicate about this. And so it was weird just like not seeing that same variety in this. And I think like in tier 2, the Rusaka comes up again.
Is there like a there's sort of level up progression for this?
There's no connection. They're all completely distinct adventures.
Weird.
It's so weird. But like they're all pretty decent adventures. It's just kind of weird to see like that inconsistency.
Yeah.
Or too much of inconsistency.
Like I feel like, you know, if you wanted to do something consistent about it, make this creature recurring, I don't know, villain or something. I don't know too much about the specifics. Like maybe you could have like a stat block and then like additions to the stat block for later encounters. But if you're saying that's like 3+ different takes on one creature,
like one is undead, one's fae, Like it's just
Oh.
it's weird.
Yeah, that does seem pretty
And
inconsistent. Like, I feel like as an editor, I'd be like, whoa, hang on. This is, whoa. Or at least if you're going to have like those many different interpretations, maybe have like one stat block and have like alternative rules almost. Like, you know what I mean? Like with like some addendums, like if you want to do this route, substitute this for this or whatever, you know?
yeah, for me, it was just weird seeing them back to back.
Yeah.
And because then it's just like glaring. Well, it was glaring to me, just like, wow, all of these adventures are using the same thing, but different versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly supposed to be the same. I'm not sure what's going on here, and it was weird seeing such a like going from such a diverse like group of adventures from the first book to like there's still a lot of different adventures in the second half of the book, but it's just weird seeing like 3 different myths involving the Rosaka next to each other. I'm probably pronouncing that completely wrong, by the way.
Do you think that has anything to do with like the short turnaround time, or like what do you think could have possibly contributed to that?
I'm not sure. I besides just seeing updates from the Twitters every now and then, I haven't really listened to any of the interviews that they've been having with D&D Beyond or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of additional context to this.
Yeah. I will say that, and I think you may be going too, from what I remember. I'm going to see the panel for the Uncaged Anthology.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that? Oh, do you want to talk a little bit more about what we're doing for Gen Con?
Yeah, we could talk, because I know last episode we were kind of talking about our plans for Gen Con, so we can kind of give an update onto what, you know, panned out for us and maybe what didn't pan out for us.
Yeah.
Are you looking at what you signed up for now?
Yep.
Okay, I took a brief look earlier, so I think I'm caught up. I think I know what I'm doing.
Oh, it's so nice to know what you're doing.
Listen, I only looked because I knew that we were at least going to mention it. But other than that, I haven't really looked since I initially signed up. Which, when I initially signed up, I was in a little bit of a manic state, so I signed up for a lot of shit. But if you want, I can talk first.
Yeah.
So, last time I went to Gen Con, I signed up for like a lot of panels and like free events and not really too many games. Like, I think I played in 1 or 2 games. So, like, last time I was like, that was fun, but I really want to try out new shit.
Yeah.
And I think this past year, because after Gen Con, I got exposed to a lot of different systems. And then I, even more so, have gotten tangentially exposed to systems where, like, I've seen or heard of other people playing in them, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I want to try that out. So for this Gen Con, I signed up for a lot more games and panels. So I'm going to see Talks Machina panel because, of course, and I'm going to the Uncaged Anthology panel, but the rest of it has been games that I signed up for. And to my knowledge, if I remember right, I think Thursday afternoon is going to be my High Shelf Gaming Day. Friends of the channel, High Shelf Gaming. Yeah, a lot of people from that community came together to run some events. So Ethan and I signed up for those. So I'm going to be playing D&D First Edition, being DM'd by Rich, who has the most chaotic energy known to man. So combined with the like most hardcore version of D&D, it's going to be just trial by fire, I feel like. And then I'm gonna play in Dead of Winter with Heather, Katrina, which I've heard good things about that as well. It's like co-op survival type game. And then over the week, Ethan and I, to my knowledge, we're also playing in Urban Shadows, which whenever I signed up for this game, I didn't realize I was going to be in a podcast. So, whoops, doubling up a little bit, but it's fine. It's all good. You know, a good monster theme powered by the apocalypse game, I'm not going to turn down. We also got to get into a Masks game, which is also powered by the apocalypse, but tweaks with the rules like a lot more. And I could probably explain that more after Gen Con. But Masks is like teenage superhero scenario in a city full of superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, think of the setting for The Incredibles, but like before they placed the ban on superheroes. Is like the setting. And then we also signed up for Phoenix Dawn Command, which is like a card game, basically. Which is kind of about like a troop of heroes, basically, with powers, and your powers and everything are defined by cards, and they have, I don't know if it's been made available on the Geek and Century Public channels yet, but there was a season of Starter Kit, which was an Project Alpha original show hosted by Jason Charles Miller, which they played through different systems, and it was usually ran, like the GM, DM, whatever, was usually someone who either made the game or was heavily involved in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And one season they played Phoenix Dawn Command, hosted by Keith Baker, who, you know, if you're familiar with like Eberron and, you know, D&D lore, he played a big role in that. He also made Phoenix Dawn Command. So that's something he had his hand dipped into. So, yeah, and we have a copy of it at the house. We just have never played it. And it was a free event, so we're like, hell yeah, why not sign up? So, and I think that's everything, which, you know, is a fairly full schedule considering most games take like 3-ish hours. But no, I'm excited, and I think I'm going to fill other spaces of time with hanging out with friends, and of course perusing the showroom floor, because
that exhibit hall is wonderful.
Oh my god, the goodies galore.
So last year I also like overloaded myself with panels, like going to the Matt Colville panel, a couple of like diversity and inclusion ones that with like Basic Arcana, Cypher Tier, and lots of other great people. A lot of them I didn't go to, especially if like they weren't people that I was really familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But this year I am going to go to the Uncaged Anthology panel, the Adam Colville Power Hour, and I'll be playing. I was able to get into some non-D&D games. A Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game. I have the books. I just don't know how to play. And, I honestly, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go in with an open mind. But I don't know if Vampire the Masquerade is the game for me.
Yeah, there's a little bit of I think controversy surrounding it.
But I am also getting into a Numenera game because, hey, I really like that one game of Numenera that we played. And I kind of have always wanted to get more of that, but just stuff.
Yeah, I think Monty Cook Games does a good job of publishing just weird, interesting shit.
Mm-hmm. I'm also going to be playing Overlight.
Oh, I wanted to get into a game of that so bad, but I wasn't able to.
It's funny because like I actually had a lot of trouble like getting in to buy my tickets first off,
Yeah.
and like most of the things I was like signed up for, like the high shelf gaming stuff and everything, I just could not get into. But yeah, I looking at my schedule right now, it seems pretty open right now. And enough for me to like peruse the show floor, meet up with people. Which, by the way, if you're a friend of the channel, beep, 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 beep,
Beep, beep.
and you see us, maybe say hi. So we're going to Gen Con. We hope to see some of you there, and if you can't, we'll let you know where else you can see us.
Yeah.
But my dog is very sleepy. I think your cat is doing his zoomies.
Oh, he's doing a big sleep.
Oh, okay. Well, both of our animals are doing big sleeps. And I think it's about time that we call this an episode. I just... Wait.
Ooh, double parkour, baby.
We just did the most synchronized parkour moves.
We've been fairly synchronized lately. Anytime we're on a stream together and one of us talks about Let's Talk About, we usually clap at about the same time.
Yeah.
Which is not planned.
Yeah, nothing about this show is planned.
Oh, no. We talk about like 5 minutes ahead of time and then we just run with it.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking by and listening with us as we share our drunken opinions on various D&D things. If you want to hear more reviews, wait until something else gets released because we'll probably have thoughts about it.
Just hop into a little cryogenic chamber, kind of freeze yourself, and you know, maybe 6 months to a year down the line, we'll have something else for you.
No, wait until Avernus comes out.
And you know, you might get to hear some shit.
Anyway, but with that, we will see you guys later. Make sure to check out all the links in the doobly-doo to friends of the channel, beep a view, and maybe get yourself some merch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Beep.
You.
Which I think sounds different to like every person who hears it. I'm seeing it spelled so many different ways, which is perfectly fine, I think. But yeah, no.
Friend of the channel. Oop, 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 oop.
Fuck.
That's the B-side.
B-side.
But anyway, that's beside the point.
Fuck you.